Hello everyone, this is Bill Diorio. I'm the Republican chairman for House District 10. I ran for the House District 10 seat twice, once in 24 and 2022. I want to thank the thousands of people who voted for me, and I appreciate it. I wanted to update you on our efforts to try to get the video security surveillance systems at the remote drop boxes brought up to what I call modern standards. On Tuesday, I submitted a claim to the district court alleging that the county clerk was not fulfilling her obligations to properly monitor these drop boxes, and masking under Colorado Rules 113. That is Title 1, Article 1, Section 113, to have a hearing to present the evidence collected for the last 4 years to the court and see whether the judge agrees with us. In 2022, I submitted this complaint. A judge thought that it was, and saw it as a complaint, just a general complaint, looking for a restraining order or something, and he never ruled on it until the day before the election, and never gave us a hearing, and really didn't focus in on the 113 statute that we were filing under. So I don't believe the case has been properly adjudicated. So anyway, here's the complaint, and this is what we're alleging, that the county clerk is an elected official. She has a duty to enforce this code, and failure of that duty is basically guilty of corrupt conduct. And we don't think the county clerk is being corrupt. She's not taking money or anything like this, but I think she basically feels that she's got enough to deal with and doesn't want to deal with this, and I sympathize. So that's basically this. The complaint is the legislature passed laws establishing a set of election law violations, everything from dropping more than 10 ballots into the box to carrying firearms into the box, and these are under the statutes. Then the legislature gave it to the Secretary of State to promulgate rules for the enforcement of these statutes. Secretary of State could have passed rules requiring mounted police in all the boxes, but what she did was she said, no, we're going to have well-lit video security surveillance systems at the boxes. That's how we're going to enforce these laws, and that's the purpose of the security. These things, we think the cameras don't accomplish that. They need to be upgraded. That is it in a nutshell, and we'll see what the court agrees with that or not. Let's just go over the election code. So the election code in Colorado is Title I of the Colorado Revised Statutes. It includes many provisions from everything regarding elections. Article 1 in Title I, Article 1 deals with elections in general, and Section 110 makes the county clerk the chief election official of each county. So basically the buck stops with the county clerk, and it's her responsibility to enforce these laws. Darn it. And it makes 113 again makes the district court the remedy for disputes over failure to enforce, which is what we're doing right now. And then Article 5, in Article 5, Section 102.5, deals with everything related to drop boxes. Okay, it establishes the drop boxes. It makes it mandatory for the clerks to establish them. Requires them on campuses. They've got to be open for 15 days. And they must be established in accordance with the Secretary of State's current security rules. Right there. That's important. Tribes have to have them. And then subsection F says A county may establish additional drop-off locations at the county's discretion. A drop-off location must be located in a secure place under the supervision of a municipal clerk, an election judge, or a member of the clerk and recorder staff. Now, this seems to be targeting more at like physical drop-off locations, but it seems to be that drop boxes are drop-off locations, so these requirements should apply to that as well. Okay, Article 7.5 deals with mail-in ballots. Okay, 75107 sets a 10 ballot limit. So that means nobody other than an official election worker can collect and deposit more than 10 ballots in any election. And that's during the course of the entire election. And again, this is a law. It's the requirement of the county clerk to enforce that law. And how do you enforce the law if you can't see what's going on, who's putting what into the ballot box? And that to me seems to be the minimum. Then Article 13 establishes a series of election offenses, makes the district attorney responsible for prosecuting election offenses. Then 107, this is the section that says the elected official, public officer, anyone charged with enforcing these laws must enforce them, or it's a criminal penalty. Section 707 makes it actually a felony to tamper with the boxes. That could be anything from breaking the seal, I don't know, sticking a camera inside to try to count the ballots, or going to the point of vandalizing the box by putting something in the box that would destroy the paper ballots. I mean, a bad actor could do that, and the boxes, that's a vulnerability, and these cameras are the only means that in being enforced to protect the elections against that kind of behavior. Interference with voting. So if somebody's out there, I don't know, grabbing ballots and taking them away, or doing something to interfere, that's prohibited. Anything that can be judged as impeding free exercise is prohibited. Electioneering is prohibited. Again, 723 here, it repeats the notion that failure to enforce is a criminal action. So the legislature put that in twice, which I found to be pretty significant, that they're serious about this, you know. And then finally, 724 prohibits firearms near the boxes. So somebody standing out there with a firearm next to the box, that's a violation. And again, the only way to enforce that, other than I suppose somebody with a cell phone or a camera could call the police, but in terms of the enforcement by the clerk, these cameras are the way to do it. Okay, so the security rules, again, the legislature passes the laws. One of the laws is that the Secretary of State is to develop security rules for enforcing the laws. And so 7.41 says that all the boxes are to be adequately lit and use a video security surveillance system. Now, that term, video security surveillance system, has a very specific meaning in the industry, which we'll get into. It's not just the presence of a camera pointed somewhere in the vicinity of the box. So without getting into all these things, and then Rule 7410 requires the county clerk to report violations of the 10 ballot limit to the district attorney. Again, if you can't see the drop boxes, slots, you can't see the person's hands and what they're putting into it, you can't see the face, you can't read the license plate, how are you supposed to report anything to the district attorney, either with the 10 ballot limit or any of the other offenses in Article 13? So I think again, three terms are really important here: monitoring, surveillance, and video security surveillance systems. So to monitor according to the standard Random House Dictionary is to, I like, this is the best definition here for our purposes, is to observe critically, oversee, and supervise. And when the cameras out there, it's a terrible overreach, just a huge overreach to say that they provide critical observation and the ability to oversee or supervise. And then the term surveillance is used over and over again, and the essence of the word, it comes from the Latin word vigilare, which means to watch. So surveillance means watching by a human being. And the other thing about surveillance, it's especially surveillance of a suspect person or somebody that you suspect of committing a crime, okay? And so it's not, an area that's under surveillance is under surveillance looking for perpetration, violations of law. And in order to be proper surveillance, you've got to identify the perpetrator. And then just getting online and asking the AI what the AI considers a good definition. ChatGPT found this one. Professionals see a video security surveillance system not just as a camera or as cameras, but as a holistic ecosystem combining hardware, software, and procedures to provide situational awareness and evidence for decision making. And I defy anyone to say that most of the cameras that we have out there in House District 10 and presumably in Boulder County really meet this standard. I mean, providing real situational awareness, combining hardware, software, and procedures. So those are the statutes and the rules and the definitions, and we think that by applying those definitions, you've really got to conclude that the cameras just cannot cut. They do not meet those requirements. Now, let's see. All right, so just quickly, I want to go over a letter we got from the district attorney. This is what the arguments we're getting both from the district attorney and from the county attorney. That one, the DA responded to a letter that the Central Committee of the Boulder County Republicans sent to him about this issue. And he said, well, he felt that it appears that the election rules do not prescribe with specificity a particular quality or of resolution for the cameras, nor is there set forth any requirement as the cameras are required to capture. So I dispute both of those because when the Secretary of State says a well-lit video security surveillance system is to be used to enforce the election laws, that automatically specifies that you've got to have a resolution and lighting and coverage. The camera's got to be aimed in such a way that they can detect violations. A camera that is pointed at the wall or pointed at the stars or is so far away you can't see anything cannot, under any stretch of the imagination, be said to comply with that regulation. In addition, the second point that the DA made was that they don't provide additional guidance or direction for the issue of camera resolution replacement. Again, that's the same argument they raised before, and I say yes, they do. When the Secretary of State required well-lit high video security surveillance systems, that's all she needed to say, because any professional in the security industry knows what that means, and that means high quality, high resolution, proper aiming, proper lighting, so you can detect violations of the law. And then they go on to raise what I think are really irrelevant points, saying that the rules, the election rules prohibit Rule 814.7 prohibits the, hold on a second, prohibits the use of cameras by poll watchers at the drop box. And that's true, but that's what we're talking about. A poll watcher is a volunteer, not a hire of the county clerk, who's there to watch the polls for a candidate or a party. And so having a poll watcher out there at a remote drop box with a video camera, I agree, is not appropriate. It's probably intimidation of voters. So, but that's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about the county clerk as the chief election officer for the county having a properly well-lit video security surveillance system at the box that captures the information on a real-time basis and can detect violations of the laws. That's it. And nobody is, remember, these drop boxes are not, it's not a polling place. It's not where you go to fill out your ballot. It's simply where you drop your ballot off. So nobody is interfering with anybody's right to vote or trying to see how they're voting, because you can't, it's just an envelope. So that is totally a spurious argument, if you ask me. And then the issue here is they're saying that the laws say that you've got to protect the anonymity of the voter, and so therefore the county they don't want the face to be visualized, but that's of course defeats the whole purpose of surveillance. The law says that these boxes have to be surveilled, okay? And surveillance means you've got to be able to identify the person and what they're doing, or you're not surveilling it. You can't detect or provide evidence. And so anybody who goes into an area that's under video surveillance knows they have no anticipation of being there in private, any more than you would if you're going through an intersection that's being surveilled by a camera to detect people going through the intersection illegally. You have no right for privacy under that circumstance. Okay, then the last point that they make was that in the rules, the Secretary of State defined video security surveillance under Rule 1162, I think, and that says that all that says. Let's see if I can get that for you. Okay, it's 1162. And that says video surveillance recording means video monitoring by a device that continuously records a designated location, or a system using motion detection that records 1 frame or more per minute until detection of motion triggers continuous recording. That's fine. That's simply saying that it's got to either be continuous or motion activated. That's fine, but that's not limiting a video recording device that was recording either continuously or motion activated, that was pointed in the wrong direction, or was out of focus, or was in the dark, would certainly that does not absolve them of the overall industry standard for what constitutes a video security surveillance recording. So I just I disagree that definition. If you use that definition as the sole definition, then you can have the camera in a shoebox, as long as it came out. As long as it's recording continuously. No, that's not right. So anyway, let's see. Why is that happening now? Sorry about that. Okay, so and then at the end, the DA gives his opinion. The box. He said, in his opinion, the boxes are subject to video surveillance, and are in areas where there is sufficient light that they may be observed in the dark, which is patently false. I mean, every box, we can give you examples where in the dark they are not being seen. They're not visible. And again, the very few of the boxes even come close to providing surveillance grade information. So I dispute that. And then, so I disagree with the fact that they meet the plain requirements of either rule. Well, it probably does meet the requirements of it's actually 1162, not 1161, because they do. They are continuously recording. They do have they do highlight times when there's motion. So I agree that it meets 1162, but does not meet 741 because they don't meet the standards, the generally accepted industry standard for what constitutes a well-lit video security surveillance system. So there. Now the thing that I would like to let me get this thing out of here. There we go. Let me just quickly go through a couple of these exhibits. So give you some examples of some of these images. Now here's a good one. This is an acceptable quality from Arizona. This is what we would like to see. Is you can the camera is mounted close up to the box, in line with the box, and you can, if there was a license plate on this car, you could easily read it. You can see the face of the driver, even though it's pixelated here, and you can see why they're putting it in the box. That's great. We'd be happy with that. Here's another one from Pennsylvania where they mounted cameras on top of the box looking directly into the camera. I have a very good chance you'd be able to identify the drivers, the faces of people, and you can definitely see what they're putting into the box. Not totally ideal because you can't see this guy's face, but a better chance, right? Here's one from Denver. This is good. The box is mounted close. The camera's mounted close to the box. You can see the drop slot. You can see what the person's putting into it, and if it wasn't raining, you'd be able to see this guy's face. Again, this is a reasonable mount. It's a good installation. And here, let me just show you what we're dealing with, though. Going past all this. Here's this is if anyone thinks this is a well lit box, I have some swamp land I'd like to show them. There's several people behind the box, at least 3. There is some lighting in this area from the light over the door, but it's not on the box. You can't see any faces, and it's very hard to see some shadowy forms. That is not a well-lit box. Here's one at the Avery Brewing. The only lighting, there's a little light somewhere in the background here from a street light maybe, but the only lighting right at the box is these guys' flashlights, and I don't know what they're doing. The picture is so out of focus and blurry that you really can't tell what they're doing. And if these people were actually vandalizing the box, I think there's little or no chance that this camera would provide evidence, other than the fact that some shadowy figure came and destroyed the box. Here's at the courthouse. Again, not that terrible, except it's behind the box. You can't see the drop slot. Here's a guy with 2 ballots in both hands. You can't see his face because the camera is so high above the box, and all you have to do is look down. So again, it is a picture, but I don't think that this constitutes video security surveillance. South Boulder Rec Center, the camera is so far away, it's probably at least 100 feet away. The person using the box is just a little tiny image, and even when this image is enlarged, the image is so pixelated you can't see who that is. And of course, it's behind the box, so you can't see the drop slot. Here's the county clerk's office on 33rd Street. is actually one of the worst installations. It's also one that most of the ballots get dropped off at. The camera is positioned such that the car is between the box and the camera. So the car blocks the camera from seeing what's going on at the box. Compare that to this one here, which is the one that we like, which is oh, I guess that's the bottom. Sorry. There, this one, figure 13. This is what we need, and instead what we're getting is that silly image with all you can see is the side of the car. Now the same thing at the 33rd Street at night. There is some light there. There's a light somewhere, but it's not on the box. It's not mounted over the box. And again, the camera is all the camera can pick up is the shadow of the car, and so that provides perfect anonymity for the person using that box. And if it's a bad actor, it would be a very easy deal for that person to damage or vandalize the box or put illegal ballots into it. So the mental health center, high up, behind the box, too far away, can't see the face, can't see what they're putting into the box. UMC, you're looking at the back of the person. Another one by the back of the person. She's got a lot of ballots in her hand, but you can't. There's no way you can tell how many. Here's UMC where a guy drove up in a cart, walks behind the cart, and he's right there. And there's the box. So he's putting something into the box. Maybe this is a legal deal. Maybe it's an election worker. But if it's not an election worker, if it was a malicious person, there's no way this camera would be any good at all at providing evidence of what was going on. Williams Village, again, this is like a complete aerial shot. Even at maximum, when they take that camera and they put it at maximum magnification, it's better, but this traffic sign's in the way. And of course, the camera is behind the box, so you can't see the drop slot. You can't tell what's going on there. Okay, so these are the ones we like. A good mount in front, or mounted on top of the box, which is better. And here's one mounted side of the box, looking at the box, so you can see the drop slot, the hand of the person, and a good chance of seeing their face. These are the things we think at a minimum, and we think at a minimum these things should be on the cloud so that this information can be observed by anybody in the public. So it makes the whole process extremely transparent. So that's what I have to report on you. The judge should assign us a hearing date. I don't know whether he will, but he should. And when we get a hearing date, I will put the word out so people can come and hopefully attend the hearing, so the judge knows this more than me worrying about it. And if you want to, you can write a brief in support of our complaint. Again, it's case 25 CV 182. The address of the court is 1777 6th Street, Boulder, Colorado 80302, and just reference this case number. And especially if you're somebody with expertise in security, if you're a professional security person, or you know somebody and you got some special expertise and you agree with what we're saying here, please, that would be super helpful to have you step up on that. So thanks very much, and I appreciate you watching this somewhat lengthy video, but hopefully we can get some improvement in these things. Thanks very much.